Hey YouTube, how's it going guys? Jared Fuller here. Today is Sunday, November 4th, 2018. I am home alone right now. Dad and Amy's gone. So in this week's edition of the Sunday video update, it's all Jared this time. As a matter of fact, I just walked through the door about 20 minutes ago. I just got back from the pumpkin roll over in New Lothrop. It was to benefit the Miller family. For the late, great Buddy Boy Miller, his presence was felt there. It was just, I knew that a part of him was there. I had that feeling. And I know it's just a feeling, but, I mean, when you've helped someone for so long, it seems like their presence is still there, so. And I'm going to reach off to the side and get my bottle of Pepsi. Not drinking coffee today, but I'm going to take a big swig of Pepsi out of this 2-liter bottle of pop. Good stuff. But I'm home alone right now. I just got home from New Lothrop, as I mentioned, and it was nice. I had a live band. It was a great turnout. A lot of people were there. So that's where I was just a little while ago. Yesterday, I was in Lansing helping a friend move out of her apartment. I was actually helping to move all of her belongings into a storage unit in Lansing. But I'm guessing that she's going to be moving to somewhere in Shiawassee County. I think Owasso or Corona or somewhere. But yeah, I was helping her yesterday. And then after I helped her, I went to see a friend that I haven't seen in probably, I don't know, 3-4 years. She don't live in Owasso anymore. She actually lives out in Duffield, which is a little unincorporated town in Genesee County. So we hung out for a little bit. We drove around the section, and she had her little boy with her, the child I never knew she had, actually. But it was nice. We just drove around. We caught up on old times, and we talked about what's been going on in our lives. We were kind of doing like a Sunday video update to one another. But we were talking about time that had passed that we hadn't been speaking to one another. So that was nice to catch up with old friends and to meet their children. Yeah, so it's been a busy weekend for me, and I was contemplating even bringing this to the attention of the public, so to speak. But yes, I am back on Facebook again. I have returned to Facebook, and a lot of people are texting me saying, Jared, we got a friend's request from someone under your name and your profile picture. We just want to make sure it's you. Yes, it's really me. I'm back on Facebook again. I was contemplating even mentioning it in the Sunday video update, but I figure, the word has gotten out anyway. People are already running their mouth on Facebook. They're already, chattering to one another and filling people's heads with a bunch of garbage about me. It's happening already. So, there's nothing I can do about it. People are going to talk. I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. People are going to talk. They have nothing better to do with their lives, nothing better to do with their time, but to sit and talk about people they don't like. And that's fine. I'm glad I can be the topic of their discussions. For better or worse, I had just done an audio recording called Dear Haters, which I hope to a certain degree had ruffled their feathers, because if it's about them, then the truth hurts, which is why they have to lie to cover up truth. They have to lie to people who don't otherwise know the situation. And they say, well, that Jared Fuller, look out for him. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's all a bunch of gobbledygook nonsense. These people have nothing better to do with their time. Why are they picking on me in particular? Because I exposed a fraud. And for some reason or another, I'm still relevant to their everyday life. I have that kind of this certitude over them that I somehow affect their daily lives because I'm still out there doing something that is special and important to me. Somehow that bothers them. It's very bothersome to them. It bothers them. Well, tough. I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. And as part of continuing to do what I'm doing, I'm also going to remind all of you to visit GuideStar.org. GuideStar.org is a website tied in with the federal government, the Internal Revenue Service, if I can get it out, containing a comprehensive listing of all of the 501c3 nonprofit organizations and LLCs. Don't be fooled, don't be duped. Visit GuideStar.org today. And that's what the haters don't like. The fact that I reference this website all the time because, and I've said this before, you use GuideStar.org, you encounter someone who says, oh yeah, I've got a 501c3 nonprofit, I have an LLC, I have this and that. Well, GuideStar will tell you if that is in fact true, and if there is no listing of what they're claiming is real, that's when you know that you've been lied to. Again, truth, it hurts. I know it's painful. It's painful to deal with. I get it. It hurts bad. But not to sound too sarcastic, but it can be painful. The truth of people, when you think you know someone and you think that everything is going well, turns out to blow up in your face. That happened to me just recently on Facebook. Someone I had talked to for, I don't know, any number of years. I sent her son a bird shirt. I'd written a poem for him. And then, now that I'm back on Facebook, I was banned from the page. But, that doesn't mean that the haters win and I lose. Because I didn't do it for them. I did it for the children. It's always about the kids. It's always my gestures in this childhood cancer world as an advocate or just as a person. I've done for the kids. The parents don't have to like me, and I don't care. I don't care. I do it for their children because I know what that is. I know what that's like. And you would think the parents would have better knowledge and understanding of, after all, this is social media, and we shouldn't listen to what all these people are saying because they haven't proven their case, which is something else I talked about in an audio recording. And I could go on and on about this all day long, but I choose not to. I don't want to, sound bitter and I don't want to act as if I'm talking to my elite group of haters every week, because they're not deserving of the effort or the energy or the time. But to those of you who discover who I am on Facebook, if you should happen to find me on Facebook, well, I can tell you that my profile picture on Facebook is the same as that little emblem right down there in the corner, the bird with on the red background. Same Facebook profile picture. It's all the same. Even on Twitter, it's all the same. I'm easy to find. That's why I chose to use that symbol, birds of a feather, which it inspired a poem that I'd written following up with that drawing. And I drew that bird, by the way. But anyway, to get that, I was contemplating, I was talking to my dad, and it's like, I don't know if I should really announce it publicly on my YouTube channel that I'm back on Facebook, because then, it's going to get worse from there. But, I look at it this way. I'm honest. I've always been honest with people. Since the beginning, since day one, I've always been honest. And it takes for people to lie in order to get back at me because I'm being honest. Because I exposed a fraud, and they don't like it when you expose frauds. They don't like it when you expose people who are taking families for a ride financially, and I'm supposed to just sit back and pretend that they're not the squeaky wheel in the childhood cancer community. Well, I'm sorry, but I can't do that. If someone did that to my parents, they would be paying for it. They would be punished. And anybody who uses children for attention or monetary benefit for personal gain of any kind, whether it be money or whatever, you should be punished for it. And anyone who fakes having cancer and they make a caricature out of cancer as a whole, they should be in prison too. As a matter of fact, when I came back to Facebook, I had read an article about someone who faked having cancer, and she made $50,000 in donations. Put her in prison and throw the key away. That's my take. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree. But again, if anybody's going to use cancer, something that is so fragile and delicate and something that kills people, adults and children alike, you should be punished for that. But I'm the bad guy because I point this out. See, this is what I don't understand. But on social media, you have the power of anonymity, which means that everybody's a critic. I've never had people actually get in my face and like get nose to nose with me or point their finger at me. What they do is they call from block numbers, and they, because somehow they're so big and macho that they're going to call me from an unavailable number or a block number, or they're going to private message me on Facebook or social media or whatever. Everybody's so tough when they don't have to face you. It's too convenient. But mind you, I don't talk about this every week. At least I try not to, but that's always going to be a problem. It's always going to be a problem for me, and it should be a problem for anyone else who's reasonable, and they want to see this come to an end. Because I sure do. When I ask people, why would you believe something without any good reason to believe it? I'm not being innocuous when I ask that question. I'm trying to understand why people think this way. What would convince you? How are you convinced of this? My God, I'm not a target for people. Although I could be. I make myself a target. I don't really want to be a target. But because of the fact that I spoke up, and I ruffled a few feathers, and I, struck some nerves with people, oh well. Then I guess I am up for, in the line of fire. But that's fine, because love me or hate me, it was an act of bravery and courage to actually stand up and say, hey, these people are not right. They're using childhood cancer to get what they want, and that's that. Well, too bad. I'm back on Facebook again, and I see a lot of, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed, and maybe perhaps never will change. But I'm these people who claim to be my friends all this time, they're dropping off by the wayside. And it's a hard thing to take in. It's hard to accept, because I've been doing this for 5 years, and I've been reaching out to all these people, and now suddenly I'm on the opposing end of this. I'm on the opposing side, either because I called out a fraud or because they're brainwashed and they break under pressure from all these people who constantly nag. Well, if you're going to have connections with this Jared Fuller, blah, 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 that's real low and childish. And maybe perhaps it's time for you people to grow up and get a life and do something productive with your lives. I'm not on YouTube all the time. I'm not even on social media all the time. I'm not on Facebook or Twitter all the time. What I do is now is, okay, fine, I'm back on Facebook, I'm back on Twitter. But I find other things to do outside of social media. Like, I still have my journals that I write in. And as a matter of fact, November 16th is the 19th anniversary of my journals. And I imagine I'll be doing something to commemorate that. But when I'm not on social media, I'm either writing a poem, I'm writing in my journal, I'm going to charity events. I'm doing things to stay active and productive and not focus so much on who's going to leave me, who's going to stay, who's going to believe all the garbage and nonsense about me. I'm too busy living life. And I'm trying to live as large as I can, and I'm trying to be the best person I can be, the best Jared that I can be, each and every single time. I'm not here to, try to be the top dog in anything. I only want to help people. I don't want to be, this person who is a pinnacle, or, gee, I'm holding myself superior over everybody else. I see this all the time, by the way, and it gets old. Just recently I posted some pictures of, visiting the kids in the hospital. Okay, and I have like a great big collection of pictures. I got to see some kids in the hospital, or I've been to their house and I spent time with them. I'm not doing this to make myself look superior over everyone else, but it was my way of sharing with people who, and these are people who already know that I'm very well involved with raising awareness and getting involved in charities and things like that. I'm well known to a lot of people, so I put it out there that, hey, I'm sharing bits and pieces of my life with all of you. I'm not looking for praise. I'm not looking for, grovel at my feet and worship me and all this nonsense. I'm just showing you that this is who I am. This is my work. This is what I do. I'm not looking to be treated like like Mother Superior or King Casanova. I'm just here to share my story and hopefully inspire a few people and to show people that it is possible that you can overcome and achieve great things in life. And even if people fail to do that, and many have, it doesn't mean that we should give up hope. And it doesn't mean that we should stop fighting for what we believe in. And what we want to see change. We want things to change, but we want it done the proper way. We want things to be done correctly. We should learn from our past mistakes so we're not remaking the same mistakes in the future. We have to be able to stand on the shoulders of the people who come before us so that way we can improve. Now, next March for me will be 30 years since I was diagnosed. And I don't know if my dad's got anything planned for this. I'm not sure. I'm not looking for anything major to come about it. But let's just say, he has something planned for me for the 30th cancerversary, so to speak. That's what we call it in our world. I'm not, 30 years is a long time to have gone, after treatment, after the battle. But, there's a part of me that I don't feel as grateful as I should. And I may have explained this in numerous different ways before. But I don't feel as grateful about it because I had it. I'm not grateful that I was sick. But what I am grateful for is that I can help people. I'm not dwelling on the bad. I'm not playing victim. I'm not milking this for what it's worth. I'm trying to tell people that even now, after all these years, it affects you. It affects me. I can't escape. See, the thing with the people who don't like me, they want me to, come in. I'm busy right now, but come in. They want me to, I'm busy right now, but come in. They want me to live my life, but at the same time, they want me to detach myself from what happened. And I can't do that. It's impossible. I can't escape my own lifestyle. So, I don't use my battle as a way to, I'm not milking it for what it's worth. I'm not saying, poor, pitiful me, look at me. What I'm saying is this is what I've gone through, and I want to help. I want everybody to know that you're not alone in this. And it's really sad and it's a shame that you have people who, they are so willing and desperate to do anything to tear someone down who's actually doing something good and beneficial and for the well-being of other people who have been thrust into this involuntarily. There's no, I can't make sense of it. So you don't like me because I exposed a fraud, okay? And it's been proven that he is a fraud. And there's many more frauds out there that I will expose if it comes down to it. But I can't believe that people would be so edgy and so utterly just pissed at me because I exposed someone, or I stood up and I voiced out. Well, that's what an advocate does. See, I'm not a watered-down advocate, and what most people are looking for is an advocate who will turn the other cheek. Okay, well, someone's doing something over here that they shouldn't be doing, so I'm just going to ignore this. No, I'm sorry, but no. No. If I know that someone is being dishonest and they are, they're trying to blackmail people, well, if you don't stop, I'm going to sue you for slander. Shut the hell up. If you're doing something wrong, you need to be called out on it, period. And what really surprises me is how so many of these people who are mad at me because I expose someone, why are they not mad at the person who was exposed? Why are they not mad over the fact that this guy or this gal or whoever it is that's involved, they've been lying. They've been using chicanery to get what they want. I mean, they have this unabiding fervor to take me down for whatever they can get me on. Well, we'll make up a story. We'll fabricate something because we just don't like what he has to say. Well, tough. I don't care if you don't like what I have to say. I don't care for the fact that people are being dishonest and getting away with it. That's what I have a problem with. And that goes for the liars and the haters and the buffoons who are out there making things up to get back at me, and then they're spreading this around and making it believable to people who don't know the situation, or if they do know better, they just don't care. I'm done playing these games. I've been done playing these games for, I don't know, since it happened 2 years ago. And I'm not, I'm just not in the mood to deal with it anymore. But, and that's kind of in a nutshell, I'm trying to explain for those of you who don't know the situation. There's just somebody out there and it is a he, and he's been dishonest the entire time, and he keeps latching on to these families who are vulnerable. He attaches himself to these vulnerable people who don't know any better. They don't know the full story behind who this person is. And many of us know. So that's why if anyone has a question for me, I don't go to people anymore. I cross my arms and I just kind of sit back and I say, you know what? If they really want to know anything, they'll come to me. I'm not going to go to them, because if I go to them, that makes me look foolish. And I learned my lesson about going to people and warning people about what's going on. And, I don't want to see any more families get taken advantage of by this guy or this gal. But, they're going to have to learn on their own. And, of course, like I said, if they come to me and ask me questions, great. But if you are someone who hears something negative about Jared Fuller, why don't you come to me first? Why don't you ask me the questions? And that's something I kind of talked about in the audio recordings that I had done, and I plan on doing more, by the way, because there's just so much more I want to talk about. Yeah. So, if you have a question, email me. My email address is in the About tab section of my YouTube channel, or you can find me on Facebook, because now I'm back on Facebook again. So, I don't mind having civilized conversation, but if you're going to be dishonest, and if you're going to, try to create or invoke a problem or an argument, I'm going to block you, and I'm not going to give it a second thought. Come to me civilized, honest, and be prepared for feedback. Because if you ask for it, I'm going to give it to you. And it's as simple as that. But get to know me first. Get to, and it's not just me. That applies anywhere else in the world, anywhere in life. Before you, before you make judgment on someone, without evidence, by the way, because I'm big on evidence. But before you pass judgment on someone without knowing both sides of a story, get to know each person first. Now, this person that I'm talking about, with evidence, it has been proven. There are actual court documents, and according to him, it's just a piece of paper. Well, they're court documents, and court documents don't lie. Court documents are not fabricated. Court documents are not whimsical. They are pieces of information that ties in corroboration with a court case. That's not something that would be made up. Because in a court of law, you have your judges, you have your prosecutors, and you have your attorneys and things. You can't make this up. However, as for me, it's all a bunch of he said, she, it's all a bunch of hearsay. It's gossip. Well, that Jared Fuller did this and that Jared Fuller did that. Jared Fuller didn't do a damn thing but tell people the truth. Why do I tell people the truth? Because they deserve to know the truth. I don't have to make anything up. They deserve to know the truth about who they're dealing with. And I, for one, don't make up stories unless, of course, I'm writing a poem. But poetry is subjective. It's not the same thing as getting on a public platform like YouTube or Facebook or Twitter and saying a bunch of derogatory crap about someone that I don't like, just to get back at them because I don't like them. That's what all these other people are doing. But like I said, I've never done anything to anyone, not in a negligent, horrifying way, which is what they're trying to paint this picture of me as such a horrible person. Because, in someone's story, I will always be a villain to them. Sadly, it was never always like this. We actually talked, we got along, but now, they let these other people get inside of their heads, and they start believing things that aren't true. And if you're one of those people who will just go and believe what a bunch of people have to say, if you're actually convinced of what people have to say, as opposed to looking for the truth and going to the source, which would be me, then I'm not interested in listening to you or what you have to say. It's a mess, and this is what happens when you try to do good for the betterment of the rest of the people who are affected by something, and then when someone doesn't like you, fine, you don't have to like them, but how dare you make up a lie? How dare you lie about something? You're messing with someone's life now. Someone's reputation is on the line now because of you. Because you come up with this lie, and he really is a this, that, and the other. I mean, get a life. And those people eventually will be held accountable for that. So if you plan on lying about me in some way on social media, you will be caught. And, there will be charges pressed, I'm sure, somewhere along the line. All right, Kat. But anyway, guys, so yeah, it's been kind of a long week. Again, I'm back on Facebook, and I was in Lansing yesterday. I was in Lansing on Friday. Just went on a joyride. I went down to Jackson. Yeah, I've been on the road a lot lately, so if you text me or email me or private message me on Facebook and I don't respond right away, well, it's probably because I'm busy doing something. If I'm not on the road going somewhere, I'm writing poems, or I'm writing in my journal, or I'm doing something else productive. Attending charity, of course. I go to a lot of charitable events. As a matter of fact, as I mentioned at the top of this video, I went to Buddy Boy's. There's a pumpkin roll in New Lothrop for Buddy Boy, and that's where I was. And I'm wearing my bracelets again. For the longest time, I took them off because I had gotten sidetracked with my depression, and a friend of mine had called me up today, a very good friend of mine called me up on the phone today and says, well, Jared, you shouldn't talk about your depression in your video updates, because then your haters will have ammunition to use against you. I'm depressed, so what? Depression affects a large chunk of the population of the United States, and I just happen to be one of those people who is directly impacted by depression. But after everything I've gone through, and I'm not tying depression directly to my cancer battle, but I'm sure at some point along the way there was some kind of an effect from that, because I do have like these up and down feelings. Like one minute I can be happy-go-lucky, and the next minute I'm just sad and depressed, and I isolate myself to my bedroom. However, that's, it could be bipolar depression as well. But, I'm being honest. I'm being truthful to myself and truthful to my friends and to all of you who are watching. This is the kind of person I am. I'm a childhood cancer survivor, and I'm an advocate. And when I say I'm an advocate, it's what I mean. I'm not kidding around. I don't have a 501c3 nonprofit organization. I never claimed that I did, and I probably never will. But as one friend pointed out, who is also what we call these momcologists, she's a mother of a cancer warrior, and I won't reveal her name. But if you find me on Facebook, you'll see what I made a post about that, where she had a 501c3 nonprofit organization for her son, who was a brain cancer survivor. And I met these people, by the way. Now, she did this to help alleviate the pain of knowing that her son had to go through that. And it was a way for her to heal mentally. It was mentally therapeutic to her to be able to help other people. And because of the lack of support and how much it dwindled over time, she decided to discontinue the 501c3 nonprofit organization, and she decided that she can still help people regardless of that nonprofit organization. And again, I'm not naming names here, but she is like one of the most sweetest friends I've ever known in my entire life, and I was happy and I was lucky to get to meet her, her husband, and her children. Her son is the cancer warrior, brain cancer survivor, and they are just wonderful people. And that was a lesson that she taught me, that you don't have to do extravagant things to be an extravagant person. And that's probably one of the most pivotal life lessons that you can ever learn, is that it's okay to do extravagant things. It's okay to be extravagant in your own way. You can have your 501c3s or whatever it is that you do, that it's wonderful and whimsical and splendid and magical. Fine, whatever. But there are even the little things in life, even the littlest things in life that you do, that's what makes you magnificent as a person. Holding doors open for someone, paying it forward by just helping the person in front of you, ahead of you in the line, paying for their meal, just helping people randomly, smiling, holding doors out, pulling chairs out for people, helping load groceries, volunteering, which I've done. I've done a lot of volunteering. Volunteering at soup kitchens, go to the hospitals to meet the kids, have fundraisers to help families. You don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to be well known to the world. You just have to be good at what you do, and you have to love what you do. And for me, this is always going to be personal. no matter how much my haters hate and they don't like it because I have an attachment. This is not an emotional attachment. This is a lifestyle that I can't elude. I can't run from that. I mean, had I been born at another time, and had I been born another person, and had my health been grade A, top notch, then perhaps I would be doing something entirely different. But that's not how the cookie crumbled. It happened as such that I was sick as a baby. I fought. I won. And I live with the lifelong effects of the chemo now. But I'm out there trying to be a voice for people who are scared and helpless and don't know what to do. And, you know, I would recommend to those people whose children are affected by childhood cancer, I would recommend that you talk to someone like myself, not to be a narcissist or self-promoting, but I would recommend that you talk to someone who's not only, like, say, for example, you have parents who are also in the hospital with your children, and their children are battling, so you get to know each other there. However, talk to someone like myself who is a long-term survivor. I have lots of insight to give. I have lots of information and ideas that I can share with you. You know, this is more than just an emotional appeal. I'm not doing this for anything other than to help people. That's all I want to do. It's just to help. And there are those people out there who they are just always dying to be the center of attention. They think that everything they touch turns to gold, and all of their followers believe that as well. They think that everything they touch turns to gold, and they're so perfect and pristine, and oh, isn't that so cute? Okay, so it's a picture of them with a kid in the hospital. Okay. I visited lots of kids in the hospital myself. I've had pictures taken with kids in the hospital. I'm not looking for praise, but a lot of the parents too, they will take pictures, or they say, well, can I get a picture of you with my child? You know, sure. You know, I'm not going to say no. Just like I was at it's a Wigs, you know, they do the hair donations and things like that. They did a Facebook Live, and they asked me, well, would you, with your permission, can we do a Facebook Live, and can we ask you some questions? Can we interview you? Absolutely. Not for personal benefit or to look like a hot shot, but it helps to know that there's someone out there who is a long-term survivor. They have insight. And, of course, you're going to have people out there who say, well, Jared was too young to remember this, but yeah, he's going to, he's going to champion all of his ideas just because he said he lived it. Yes, I did. And I don't have to remember exactly, not personally. I have battle scars. And each of those scars tells a story. So, there's stories that I would love to share with all of you, especially those who are affected directly by childhood cancer. As a matter of fact, my brothers, my nose itches. Let me see if I can get this straight here. My brother's ex-girlfriend's friend's baby. They're thinking the baby has Wilms tumor, or it could be neuroblastoma. We're not sure yet. And that it might not even be either of those. It could be something entirely different. But my brother's ex-girlfriend had asked me to get, she didn't ask, but my brother asked me to get involved and to say, well, you've been through that and you know about, a lot about that, and she's looking for help. And okay, but I haven't heard from her yet. And it could be because of the jilted boyfriend-girlfriend thing going on between my brother and his ex. And that's understandable too. But, other than that, I mean, I'm only one person, and I can only do so much at a time. But I try to help everyone. I try to help everyone until I feel as if I'm being taken advantage of. And then I have to draw a line. Then I have to set limits and boundaries, because while I am always happy to help anybody who needs help, I have to also make sure that I'm not a go-to guy when everyone else gives up or when everybody else can't do it. Well, I know Jared will do it. I don't want to be treated as a go-to when someone just wants something. But I do have friends. I do have friends who, I mean, I've had friends call me in the middle of the night and say, Jared, I'm scared. What do I do? And I always tell people, if there's anything you need, call me, text me. I don't care if it's 3 in the afternoon or 3 in the evening. Call me and get in touch with me and let's talk. But I've also been used by people, and that's not a good feeling to have. Sadly and unfortunately, the world is made of people who will use you. They will, as long as they get what they want, they will do what they have to do. But any other time, they want nothing to do with you, just until they need something, which is crummy, to say the very least. But I hope that was plentiful for those of you who didn't know about this. If you've been a long-time subscriber or viewer of my YouTube channel, you would know what I'm about. You know what I do. I can't not be a part of something that directly impacted me. Now, let's say, for example, okay, I quit being an advocate for childhood cancer. I've said this before. Just as an example, just, a hypothetical. Let's say I stop being an advocate for childhood cancer. That doesn't mean that I'm not a survivor. I'm still a survivor, regardless if I'm an advocate or if I'm not. I still have that survivor name tag. I can peel off the advocacy anytime. But being a survivor is one thing that will never go away. And I don't care if my haters like it or not. It is what it is. That's why I did that video, or that audio recording rather, called Dear Haters. The truth hurts, guys. It hurts. It's painful. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's been a good week. I mean, I'm getting in touch, and I'm with all my old friends I haven't talked to in a while. I'm establishing my old friendships. We're picking up where we left off from the last time I was on Facebook, and the last time I kept it a secret. I had to, so people would leave me alone. But now it's like, you know what? I'm back on Facebook, and I don't care who knows that I'm back on Facebook. So what? So what? I'm out there doing what I have to do, helping people. And everybody tells me, all of my real true friends tell me, do not let these people get to you. Do not let them stop you from doing what you set out to do. There's people out there who need you, and you have to be there for them. You cannot stop because people want to be jerks. I'm back. Here I am. Now what are you going to do? I'm staying on Facebook permanently this time, by the way. And to those of you who, if my account should happen to disappear nonchalantly and unexpectedly, well, just know that was not me. I did not deactivate. I was probably reported by my haters for whatever the reason may be. People need to find better things to do with their time. Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of pitiful people in the world. They're petty. they're petty. They don't, if it doesn't suit them or if it doesn't fit their narrative, then they just act crappy towards people. And I don't have time for it. I mean, I'm out there trying to do good things, and I'm trying to maintain my own sanity by staying busy and staying focused on other things. And like right now, I'm itching to check Facebook. But it can wait until after I'm done with this. And I've been here for, I always squint my eyes, I've been here for about 45 minutes. That should be long enough for a Sunday video update, but my videos usually average out at about an hour per recording, but that's okay. And, you know, I guess I'll talk a bit about the pumpkin roll over there. It was good. You know, I was in this garage at Schnell's in New Lothrop. I was in the garage. They had a live band, and they had a live band there last year as well. And you know, they're really nice guys. They're the Niles Block Band. You can find them on Facebook as well. They really know how to rock and roll. Well, I was, you know, in their stand. There's a little girl sitting in a chair. And I just walked in and I stood next to her and I'm listening to the band, watching them play. And I looked down like this and the little girl gives me this evil look. Like, you're standing next to me, you know. Like she got all mad about it. And I think it was either her mother or her grandmother came walking in and I told the lady, I said, don't worry, I don't bite, you know. And the little girl had this evil look on her face. And the lady thought it was cute. And I'm sorry, but when children are bratty and disrespectful, I don't find that cute. And of course, I just shrugged it off. It's like, whatever. You know, it's just a kid. I'm not going to sit here and make a big deal about it. But to a certain point, I mean, it does get under your skin. These parents who think it's funny, that it's you know, it's comical that these children act disrespectful towards grown-ups, especially people they don't even know. And all they're doing is just standing next to them like there's some kind of a law that was broken for standing next to them. I mean, give me a break. You know, if you think it's funny that your kids are disrespectful and act the way they do, well, then I guess you're not someone I would associate with. But the lady said to me, she says, well, it looks like little lady's not happy. And I said, yeah, it looks like little lady needs a timeout. I don't think she liked that all that well, but oh well. My mother would have never allowed me to act that way towards an adult. You don't act mean and disrespectful. Even if you don't know the person, you don't act disrespectful. If they're standing next to you, so what? So what? But, you know, kids seem to have more rights than the adults do these days, which it kind of happened that way when we decided that, okay, well, you know, we want to make sure that children have rights, which, you know, they do need rights. Children have rights too. But not so much to the point where we can't so much as punish our children. That became a problem. Now, when you spank your kids, you go to jail for child abuse, which it was never like that before. Never like that before. You could punish your children, you know, reasonably, within reason, you know, we're not talking about leaving bruises and welts and things like that, but you had a right to punish your child the best way that you saw fit. I got turned over my mother's knee a lot when I was a child, and I turned out just fine. The only difference is now I'm a no BS kind of a guy. I don't tolerate stupidity. And I'm sure my grandmother would be proud, because she was also a person who spoke her mind and didn't care. So I inherited my grandmother's good traits. But, you know, the whole thing about children being disrespectful, I mean, you know, you may think it's cute, but not all of us do. And if you're not going to punish and correct your child when they're acting unruly, guess what? The world is going to set them straight, and they're not going to like it. In fact, you're not going to like it when it happens. So, and those are my thoughts on that. But, so there's really not a lot going on. 50 minutes I've been here. Dad and Amy are still gone. My Uncle Mark showed up. That's who you seen coming behind me in the doorway. But I'm going to wrap this up real quick and get this uploaded and edited to my YouTube channel. And so if you are a first-time viewer, if you managed to find me through Facebook or you know, one of the problem people, the haters, my elite band of haters, directed you to my Facebook page or Twitter or even here to my YouTube channel, please understand that, you know, I guarantee, there's no almost guarantee, I guarantee you that the things they are telling you about me is not true. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. It's not true. They're just mad. They're mad because I apply logic and critical thinking to everything. Everything. Again, I'm a no BS kind of a guy. I don't tolerate stupidity. I'm not a fan of people who create drama. You know, it's these people who, they don't like drama, but they thrive on it all day, every day. I'm not going to be a proponent to that. I choose to live a life that's drama-free, or at least try to. But, you know, I only said what I said because it needed to be said, that there are people out there being fraudulent. Now, I'm just going to sit back, and I'm going to let people see for themselves just what they're getting themselves into. And if you come at me with an email or a private message and you ask me, what do you have against such and such and such and such, I'm going to be straight with you, and I'm going to tell you, you can take a screenshot of the message, you can send it back to your shepherd, I don't care. I'm going to be straight with you. But get to know me first. Excuse me. I had a burp from the Pepsi. Get to know the real me, the real Jared Fuller, before you just go by someone's assumptions. Don't base your decisions on someone else's assumptions or someone else's gossip and gobbledygook. Because I'm telling you, they're mad at me because I am relentless when it comes to saying what needs to be said. Now, the argument could be made where, you know, Jared, you're bringing this onto yourself. Maybe I am, but if you've never upset someone by being brave and having the courage to stand up and say what needs to be said, if you've never upset anyone by things that you've said, then you haven't said a thing. Because being a people pleaser, being a person who reinforces the opinions of the group who already agrees upon the same illusions of thoughts that they have gathered and garnered and accepted as true. When you think differently, when you take a different path, when you become the anomaly in the bigger group, oh yeah, they're going to hate you for it. But that's fine. That's fine. I don't care. You know, love me or hate me. To me, it doesn't matter. I even read a quote by Shakespeare in one of my in the audio recording that I did. I think it's called Dear Haters. It was in the Dear Haters audio recording. Pretty much, love me or hate me, both are in my favor. If you love me, I'm always in your heart. If you hate me, I'm always on your mind. Which is true. Either way, I win. But if you want to look at it from a winning and losing perspective, which I don't see it as such, I want to help people. That's all I've ever wanted to do. But anyway, I hope you all had a wonderful Halloween. Mine was pretty cool. I walked around Pinconning, Michigan. It's a small town in Bay County. I went with my cousins. I went with Heidi and Owen and the kids. And they got a lot of candy, and a lady got mad at me because I snagged up a 50-cent bag of potato chips. A little dinky bag of chips. Whatever will I do? It was a bag of chips. Oh, well. I'm sick of these adults. They I know, because trick-or-treating is only restricted for children, right? I thought Halloween was a holiday for all ages. I didn't know. I wasn't aware that there was an age limit on Halloween and trick-or-treating. I didn't get the memo. No one told me. But anyway, other than that, it was a lot of fun. And we were going to go to Midland, but the wife didn't get home from work until a certain time, and the husband had a doctor appointment down here because they live up in Gladwin, or up in Gladwin County, rather. So they decided that, Pinconning would be closer than Midland, and Pinconning's trick-or-treat was from 5 until 8. It was 3 hours. And generally everywhere else, Midland, Saginaw, Bay City, and the surrounding areas, Flint, trick-or-treat times are from 6 until 8. But I had fun. I had a lot of fun. We walked through we walked through Pinconning High School, and it's called Halloween in the Hallways, and they had a clown on stilts. And I know my friend Angie doesn't like clowns. Sorry, Angie. Angie Wild, a very sweet friend of mine that I wished a happy birthday to last week as well, in a video that I made for her. No clowns. But there was a clown on stilts, and a family of Ghostbusters. They had the Ghostbuster suit, and they had the slime sprayer thing, and they had the ghost detector with the little blinking lights on it. It was cool. And when we walked down the hallway, it was kind of a mockery. We walked down the hallway, and there was a payphone on the wall. And there were a couple of little kids that were little junior Ghostbusters, And I picked up the phone and I said, you know who I'm going to call? Ghostbusters. They started laughing. And the parents started laughing and said, well, we're already here. So we're already here, so you don't have to call. But, just a way to make the kids laugh. And I said, this is something that comes off as a bit funny and casually comical to me. And they said, what's that? And I'm talking to the parents, of course. And they said, what's that? I said, well, I said, you're dressed up as someone who detects apparitions. I said, we're in a school. So does this put a whole new meaning to school spirit? Ooh, spooky, And they laughed and they said, we never thought of that. Thank you. Yeah, that's me. That's Jer Bear. I get the old imagination cranking. But that's good. I think thinking is healthy for everyone, only if everyone would exercise the brain instead of their flat traps, and use our words and our thoughts, either to be helpful or to be comical or what have you, and not use words to sabotage one another. But it happens. It's just a fact of life. It happens. But anyway, I had a great week. I hope all of you had a great week. I'm going to be wrapping this up here. Take one more swig of my Pepsi, and then I'm going to call this Sunday video update a wrap. But, come on, Cap, get on there. But anyway, if you are a new viewer of my channel, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening to what I have to say. Thank you for listening to my thoughts. just thank you for everything. I hope that my audio recordings will somehow make sense to you, and I hope they will be beneficial. Like, if you haven't thought of this before, well, now that Jared points this out, it makes sense, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to disintegrate and unclog all of this gossip and nonsense to get people to think of their own faulty ways of assessing things. Because when you strictly and straightly point it out to people, you're wrong, and your way of thinking is faulty, and it's disgusting that you will believe things for no good reason. That doesn't seem to be enough. And we've gotten to the point now where people are careless and lazy about their thinking, and they take pride in that, which is also a scary thing to have to face. It is a scary, it's just a scary position to take. Lazy thinking people don't care if I believe what I believe, and that's that. Well, that's stupid, and it's dangerous, and that's not just an opinion, that's a fact. I'm sorry that facts and truth kill you. I'm sorry that they crush your illusions of what you think I am. And I'm sorry that you would let so many people, certain people I should say, get inside your head and fill your head with a bunch of notions and crap about me, but they're simply incorrect. They will always be incorrect. They're just mad. They're just mad. That's all. They're haters. Haters are always mad. They have this aggression. They want to take Jared Fuller out. Well, it's going to take more than gossip, and it's going to take more than a threatening. I'm going to call the police on Jared because he's doing things he shouldn't be doing. Like what? Like what? I just can't believe the nerve of these people. They have nothing better to do. As for me, on the other hand, while I like to help people. I write poetry. I write journals. I'm a child cancer survivor and advocate. I like music. I'm a simple person. I'm a very simple person, and I don't endorse drama. I don't endorse people who are going to just be nasty for the sake of being nasty because it's someone they don't like. It used to be you could not like what someone has to say, and you could get on with your life. You could, okay, well, they offended me. I don't like that. Turn the page. I'm done. Move on. Nowadays, when people don't like you, they will work at trying to shut you up. They will work at trying to stifle you. And you can't shut me up. You can't stifle me. And I've noticed that there are people on Facebook, and I had taken notice to this, but there are people on Facebook who are referencing GuideStar. So I hope that makes a difference because, and that's not just childhood cancer, but that's anywhere in life. People who are fraudulent and they claim to have nonprofit organizations, LLCs, when they don't. And they are simply just using children for financial gain and for the notoriety and the popularity. It is disgusting. And I personally think anybody who caricatures cancer, whether it be adult cancer or pediatric, they should get the death penalty or life in prison. And I said this on Facebook too. Why such a harsh penalty? Well, because cancer, whether you survive it or you don't, is a life sentence. That is a permanent fixture of your life. Once you've been impacted by that, there is no turning back. You cannot say ever again, I don't know what cancer is. I was never affected by it, because even though that, 30 years down the road, next year will be 30 years. But after all this time down the road of not, battling cancer or not receiving treatment or anything, I still live with the after effects of the treatment. So technically, I don't think I'm cancer-free. I'm never going to be cancer-free, ever. Excuse me. I will never be cancer-free, not technically, because of the after effects of the chemo. Why did I take the chemo? Because of the cancer. So there's that domino effect. And that'll always be a predominant fixture of my life, and I can't change it. I can't detach myself from my own lifestyle, no matter how much it upsets people, but that is just the way it is. And I will end this Sunday video update on that note, and I thank you all so much for watching, and I thought I saw my cat over my shoulder. So much love to all of you. Sorry for the itchy nose. This is Jared Fuller signing off for now. Same bat time, same bat channel. No, it's same bear time, same bear channel. I stole that from Batman. I'll be here next week. Sorry I got to you guys so late. If you're on Facebook, if we're friends on Facebook, I'll probably do a Facebook Live here in the next little while the video uploads to my channel. So much love to all of you. And I will see you guys next week here for the Sunday video update version on November 11th. So I hope you'll tune in. Much love to all of you. Take care, guys, and peace out.